as you were saying from the inception, you know, well, one, we cannot speak for all men, and a number of these points that we would have mentioned don't apply to all women either. So everything we say had to be taken, you know, with a pinch of salt. It's nothing personal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also think that we must understand and remember that as men and as women, we must be able to live together, love in harmony. We must be able to communicate issues that we may have that may drive the other person or the other sex crazy, as we put it in these videos. So it's for us to communicate, it's for us to build relationships, healthy relationships with each other.
Well, they basically said it all, so I guess my job here is done. Hey. Hey everyone, welcome back to my office, which is my living room today. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. If you've been here before, welcome back. And I want to say a special welcome to all of the new subscribers that I've gotten over the past 2 weeks. We have finally made it past 200 and I'm so grateful. So thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining the MHM fam. If you are not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. We have a lot of room over here to accommodate you, so why not join the MHM fam? I also want to say welcome back. Kind of started to my voice. As you can hear, it's still not 100% back, but it's so much better than it was over the past couple of weeks. So welcome back, voice. Let's try to make it through this video because I'm actually supposed to be on voice rest, but I need to get this video up. And this is the final part of the 3-part series that we would have been doing. If you haven't watched the previous 2 videos, I'd advise that you watch them right now before you watch this one. I guarantee you will not regret it. Basically, I did this because I wanted to just get a general idea of the male and female dynamic in relationships. This does not necessarily just apply to romantic relationships, but it could be relationships between anyone. It could be relationships with siblings, with parents and children, with friends, anyone. So the idea of this wasn't just to specifically target romantic relationships, but relationships in general. So let's get into this recap and wrap up. Upon reviewing the list of complaints that we had from the guys and the girls, it seems like the majority of them can fall under 3 categories, which would be communication, consideration, and patience. And these are actually 3 very important components of a healthy relationship. So we'll basically focus on those 3 components in response to the videos that we would have seen over the past 2 weeks. Let's start with communication. Now, I know that this wouldn't be the first time you would hear that communication is absolutely important in relationships. The best way for you to avoid things like misunderstandings and confusion is to communicate. Now, no matter how much you love and you think you know someone, you will never be able to read that person's mind, and vice versa. They'll never be able to read your mind.
You know, I think they're perhaps disappointed in our ability to not read their minds.
So never assume or expect that someone would know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, what you want to eat, if you didn't communicate it. A lot of relationships struggle because people do more assuming and less communicating. Now, with that being said, it's not only about what we communicate, but how we communicate it. Now, ladies, please do not throw me overboard or banish me from the kingdom of the women or anything like that, and actually commend the guys for the way they communicated their issues in their video.
What is this audacity? Where does it come from?
No, it definitely was not the liking of some persons, because they expected the guys to come with some sort of mighty comeback. Okay, however, the purpose of the video was never supposed to be reactionary. It was just for the guys to come and share their issues, and they did so very mindfully and respectfully. So I really have to commend them for the way they handled or discussed their issues. Given, I don't know why they were holding back certain things. I mean, they could have said what they had to say in a respectful manner. But there was a lot of don't go there, don't go there.
They choose the
Don't
own.
go there, don't go there, don't go there.
What they displayed was a good example of how we should communicate even in the presence of conflict. So good job, guys, good job. But here's a list of some other good tips for healthy communication. Thinking about what you want to say before you say it. Being very clear about what you want to communicate. Ensuring that the other person hears you accurately and understands what you mean, what you're thinking, or how you're feeling. Being aware of your tone of voice. Accepting responsibility for your own feelings. And finding adequate and appropriate time to talk without distractions or interruptions from other people or things like your phone or television or computer. But hold up a bit. Please understand that communication is a two-way street. Don't only get caught up in trying to express yourself and neglecting what the other person has to say. Ensure that you are also listening.
What?
Listening is a vital part of communication. So ensure that you set aside your thoughts and your feelings when the other person is speaking. Ensure that you're intentionally listening and not just, staying silent while you're formulating your next comeback or whatever else you want to say after that person is finished speaking. Listen.
Okay.
Healthy communication definitely requires a lot of practice, and of course it wouldn't happen perfectly every time, but I can guarantee you, if you develop a healthy communication style with the persons that you are in relationships with, it will help with conflict resolution and foster healthier and stronger relationships. So let's move on to consideration. Being considerate means showing regard for another person's feelings or circumstances. This is really necessary in relationships because it allows you to put yourself in the position of the other person. It causes you to stop and think and assess and be rational. Perhaps she's not mad at me. She just had a really rough day at work.
Or the question, you're on your period. Like seriously.
Perhaps he's just too busy right now, so he can't reply to me as fast as I would like him to, or as lengthy as I would like him to.
I'm not going to pick up. I was never going to pick up. It's not in the agenda. It was never in the plan. I don't know why you think calling again would change that. I've seen it. I've seen the call.
Perhaps she forgot about items B and C when she told me she was only going to the store to get item A. You get the point, right? Yeah, you get the point. But this again is also why communication is very important. It'd be helpful to communicate when you're having a bad day. Just be like, I'm having a bad day, so let me just get some time for myself, just to get myself together. It'd be helpful to communicate when you forgot items B and C. It'd be helpful to communicate when you're running late, before the man rushes down the road and breaks 3, 4, 5 traffic offenses and then has to end up waiting on you to finish getting dressed.
I would be speeding down the road maybe committed 1, 2, 3 traffic violations. All because I don't want to be late. I don't want to be late.
Now, on a real though, some women and men really need to learn to become more considerate of other people's time.
When I say I'm 5 minutes away, I'm in the bathroom taking my sweet time, singing along to Beyonce. Making you wait like that makes me feel nothing. I actually sleep quite well at night, knowing exactly who I am.
Patience is another necessity for a healthy relationship. Now, I know that patience is something hard to have when we live in an age that is so fast-paced. But if you want any relationship to work well, patience is key. You should never be quick to react or respond or dismiss or assume or make decisions. There are some things that would require time for processing. There are heated emotions that sometimes need to calm down before you can deal with something. Never try to jump to the quickest resolution, because sometimes things need time to thaw off, to make sense. Just give things time. And even on this topic, I want to address the concern of silent treatment. Now, I know that there are some of us who will use silent treatment as a lethal weapon, but there are others who rely on silent treatment to give themselves time to think before they respond or react and say things that are hurtful and can never be taken back. So just for the sake of not saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, a lot of persons also rely on silence. So guys, silent treatment is not always a bad thing. Sometimes we just need time to process and calm down before we say terrible, bad, hurtful, nasty things. Yeah, but yes, so you need to understand that you are not in a relationship with yourself. You are sharing a relationship with someone who might have different ways of processing, have different ways of feeling and thinking and communicating, and all of these things. It would not necessarily be identical to you. So if the relationship is valuable to you, then learn to be patient, learn to communicate better, and seek to become more understanding and considerate of the other person. I want to say a heartfelt thank you to the ladies, Chelsea, Aisha, to Shauna, to the guys, Tyrese, Chris, Sabian, and of course the very loving and supportive and always willing boyfriend that I have, Jonathan. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you all, and I appreciate every single one of my subscribers. You are such beautiful and supportive people, and I cannot thank you enough. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. You can also feel free to follow me on my Instagram page, where you would receive more information on mental health related matters, where you can receive motivation and good positive stuff over there. Until next time, be safe and remember to become informed on the matters of mental health, because your mental health matters. Bye bye.